Hey people, it is Wednesday, March the 19th. The time is 11:06 a.m. It's a very pleasant 14 degrees and it's expected to get perhaps up to 16 degrees later today. I'm on Yonge Street, right near Queen, and we're looking at the old Saks Fifth Avenue Hudson's Bay building. And it's still unknown whether or not the Bay will be going the way of the dodo or not. It's possible they could begin liquidation today. But it's also possible that the company might be partially saved. Nothing has been confirmed yet. But I thought for this walk I would start here at Yonge and Queen and then take a walk east along Queen Street. And we'll walk into the Moss Park area. Make our way through the construction maze. Here for Line 3, new subway under construction through downtown. It's known as the Ontario line, even though it doesn't really make sense anymore because the line runs from what used to be Ontario Place to what used to be the Ontario Science Centre, and now neither of those places exist anymore, so calling it the Ontario line doesn't really mean as much as it might have before. Just crossing Victoria. So we'll check out some downtown east side action here on Queen Street. We'll walk through Queen and Sherbourne, see what's shaking there. We'll walk by Kim's Convenience, local famous convenience store from TV fame. Check out some new construction projects which are transforming the east side of downtown and the Moss Park neighborhood in particular. And the birds are chirping. The snow is pretty much completely melted now. Only took about a month after those huge back-to-back snowstorms for all the snow to disappear. And there's one of the 3 sketchiest fast food restaurants in downtown. In my opinion, I did a recent video walking past that one and 2 other ones. new skyscraper going up right here. This is the Garden District, which is my neighborhood. I live a bit to the north and east of here, but the Garden District covers a good chunk of the east side of downtown. See, they're still digging for this project, digging down, and then eventually it'll start building up. I think it'll be a very tall building, actually, well over 50 stories. And I wonder how this project is coming along. This is another sort of mega development here, consisting of several buildings. There's like a bunch of retail at the base of the buildings. Eventually be able to walk between all those buildings and there'll be shops and restaurants. It's not quite there yet. I think one or two places have opened already, but once more places open up, I'll be sure to come and do a video checking all that out, injecting a bit more life into the east side with all those new establishments. You have to sort of shout all the time to narrate when you're walking through these areas with so much construction. Looks like some new renos are taking place here.
Yeah. We may need that too.
Crossing Jarvis. So now we're really getting into the thick of things here. A lot of people would say the sketch factor intensifies once you pass Jarvis Street. The Moss Park Armory, and just right up ahead, the new Moss Park subway station. Where George Street continues its way south. Doesn't look like they've started building the station building yet. I've noticed since the construction started here for this new subway station that the intersection of Queen and Sherbourne itself has sort of calmed down a lot. I think it sort of scared away some of the interesting characters who would often congregate around that intersection. This is extremely long scaffolding along this whole block here. For some reason, Metrolinx likes to build enormous subway stations with huge buildings that take up an entire lot or require the destruction of multiple other buildings. I'm not sure why they build them in such a fashion. All you really need is a staircase going down from the street to the subway station underground with some fare gates. An entire huge building is not really necessary, I think, but that's just how Metrolinx does things for some unknown reason. A lot of the subway stations downtown on the old Line 1, which was built in the 1950s, literally just have a set of stairs going down to the station. All right, here's Queen and Sherbourne. So this was once considered maybe the most dicey intersection in downtown, along with Queen and, or Dundas and Sherbourne, I should say, just to the north of here. Dundas and Sherbourne is still on the dicey side, but yeah, Queen and Sherbourne is not the same. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. We've got new towers on the rise just up ahead also. Some interesting shops along here.
The park? On this one or on that? You record me, bud?
No, just the street. Even if I was recording you, there's really nothing you can do about it. You're out in public, buddy. And here's the famous Kim's Convenience. Looks exactly like it did on the show, on the outside. It's different on the inside. The inside was just a set on the show. The Moss Park Market. I'm not sure how long this has been around. This is the Moss Park Apartments. These buildings have been around since the 1960s. and have a bit of a reputation, I guess you could say. That's an enormous wheel right there. Tire. I haven't heard too much in the news lately about any incidents taking place here at the Moss Park Apartments, but over the years I've certainly heard quite a few accounts on the local news, usually involving some sort of unpleasant crime that involves gunfire, unfortunately, or fires. Shoot some hoops. How long has this Domino's been here? We're coming into a more quiet stretch here as we come into the Corktown area. Maybe it'll take us a little bit into Regent Park, which is just north of here. I wonder how well these businesses do here on this part of Queen Street. It always seems so quiet. I don't know if I've ever gone up Treffen Street before. How about we do some exploring? I'll get off of Queen Street. Get into a nice shady spot. It's kind of a unusual building. I think this will take us up to Shooter. I wonder how old these are. They look like perhaps 1960s, 70s era. They're built in a style that's supposed to mimic sort of the old historic townhouses that you find all through this part of town. And maybe they replaced some actual old historic townhouses that might have been here before them. And there you can see part of the Regent Park neighborhood. And a chunk of the northern end of the downtown skyline. Got buildings rising everywhere. Multiple cranes here all in one shot. Okay, now this is Shooter Street. These are definitely some actual old 19th century era townhouses. These ones are sort of cottage style, but you can tell they're also very old. These ones I'm not so sure. They sort of look like they could be historic row houses. But they could also be more recent. Just done very well in that historic style. I'm just gonna guess that maybe they are actually as old as they look. Very new ones across the street. This is part of the redevelopment of Regent Park. And up ahead is the Nelson Mandela Public School. I recently watched a 90s movie called Harriet the Spy, which I never saw in the 90s. Only just recently did I watch it. It was set in New York City, but filmed in Toronto, and this school was featured pretty prominently in several scenes in the movie. I decided to watch that after the death of Michelle Trachtenberg, since I was a fan of the show Buffy that she was on, but I hadn't seen a lot of the other shows or movies that she was on. So I thought I'd check out Harriet the Spy. It was a pretty good movie. It was a kid's movie, but it was entertaining enough for an adult, I guess, to not be totally bored with it. But this school is awesome here. I can see why they chose this school to stand in for a New York City school. Back when they filmed the movie, though, it wasn't called Nelson Mandela Park. It had a different name, which I don't know offhand. But the school was eventually renamed. We've got some more nice old townhouses here. Some guy entertaining the whole block with his speakers as he bikes along. This area has changed a ton since 1996 when they filmed that movie. That was the old Regent Park back then, which was a much rougher neighborhood than it is now. You can hear my Nutrigrain bar in my pocket rustling around. This camera picks up every little noise. So if you have any keys in your pocket, or any crinkly packaging, or a plastic bag, every little noise will end up in your video. All right, crossing Shooter. Shooter Street ends just another block to the east. So I'll take us up to Dundas Street here in Regent Park. Freddy's Greek. That must have just recently opened. It's nice that there's so many restaurants and retail stores in Regent Park now, because before there weren't any other than maybe a couple of convenience stores. The neighborhood is much more livable now and reintegrated into the street grid as well. It was sort of like an island unto itself before the redevelopment. and I'm starting to feel the heat already. I am wearing a hoodie over my t-shirt. I think I could dispense with the hoodie. But now, back in the shade here on Dundas as I'm heading west now, but I think I'm going to start to wrap up the walk actually here in Regent Park. I just wanted to check out some east side downtown action along Queen Street. So we started at Yonge and Queen and we continued east into the Moss Park neighborhood. Took a look at a few new things and old things along the way as we made our way up into the new Regent Park. So leave a comment down below if you enjoyed the video, or even if you didn't. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos or streams. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal as well as via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue.